Good morning, people. Howie Steck here with Kingdom Man Legacy Ministries. I am coming to you today from Colorado Springs once again, but today it is chilly. It's only about 55 degrees. It's supposed to get up to 80, and we just had a little front come through last night, and that's what's brought the foggy weather. You can see there's no blue skies behind me, and the real cool temperatures. Hummingbirds are still here. So today I'm going to talk to you about being reconciled to God and what that means. Everybody wants to be reconciled to something, whether it's your spouse or your kids, or maybe there's even a bigger picture. You have this thing in your heart that just it feels empty. It feels like there's something missing, like there's more, like there should be more, like you want more. Or and I'm not just talking about, money and, possessions. I'm talking about that peace that surpasses understanding. We can't understand it sometimes. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand it. And I've been a Christian since 1976, 43 years, a long time. So I get it. I get it that sometimes we we wonder what's going on in the world, man. All there's crime and there's shootings and there's war and there's, the government wants to keep raising taxes. I'm talking locally now for sure. Locally, they're worse than the federal government. For what? What are we getting? What are we getting for those extra taxes? Actually, not a lot. We really aren't. But let's not go down that road because I go down that road, you won't be able to reel me in, okay? So today we're going to talk about reconciliation. How do we be reconciled to God? I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to talk about just a couple scriptures. Three, actually. One, everybody on the planet has heard this scripture. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. What does that mean? It means that he loves us unconditionally, that he gave up his most prized possession. Imagine someone coming to each of us and saying, I want you to give up your most prized possession. It might be your $1 million house. It might be your bank account. It might be your kids. It might be your net worth. It might be your privilege and place in society. And just ask you to give it up for mankind. Just give it all up. Now, right now, not 10 years from now, when to think about it and debate and have some committees about it. Right now. Could we do it? I don't think I could do it. To be honest, I don't think I could do it. Not in that way. But God said, I'm going to give my most prized possession up for humanity so that they could be reconciled to me. All God says is, throughout Scripture, is I want community with the people that I've created. John 3:16. For God so loved the world. Powerful words. Powerful words. He wants us to be reconciled. He does. He's not walked away. He's never walked away. We've walked away. We've been selfish. We've been foolish. We've followed the wrong crowds. We've hurt people. We've said the wrong things. I'm speaking for myself. I think I've done probably every one of those. At least once. Probably more. So, Job. Job is the tough book to read. Nobody wants to read Job. Job had a family and, all kinds of stuff. And, he had property and camels and, just on and on and on and on and on. And he was very, very successful. And then the evil one came and wanted to tempt him. And God said, just don't touch a hair on his head. That's all. So Job 1:1 talks about, he says, I will fear God, and I will turn from evil. But let's see what it says here. It says, that man, Job, was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned from evil. And that's basically all we need to do in life. Fear God and turn from evil. It doesn't mean be afraid of God. It means fear Him in a reverent way. Respect Him. Turn to Him with your concerns and your pain and your lack and your illness. Just turn to Him. Fear Him for who He is, how He created the universe. He created us. He created the hummingbirds. He created reproduction. He created the eye. The eye does 10,000 calculations every nanosecond. You know, right now I could be looking at the screen and I can see in the background, in my peripheral, not just behind me in the screen, what I can see, but also in my peripheral, left and right and top and bottom, about 1,000 different things. The shades of the sky and the house and the trees and all the shadows and the reflections in the glass. Your eye does that. All by accident? No. Fear God. And if it's new to some of you, I get it. I understand. But what I want you to do is I was thinking about this the other day. You know, and I've told people this a couple times, where they really struggle with, you know, God, does He exist, and you know, what's all this, what's it all about? And I tell them, I say, well, you know what? You don't have to believe me. You don't. Just trust me. Trust me when I say, you know, I've learned from experience, or others have learned from experience, or, you know, we're trying to breathe life into other people. We're trying to impart wisdom and keep them from calamity and from pain and from, you know, just the junk in life that comes our way. It's because we're following and going down the wrong path. That's all. Not because you've made 10,000 decisions and, you know, you wrote, you know, 10 volumes on, you know, how to do things stupid. No. It's because we've followed the wrong people, gone down the wrong path, made a couple bad decisions, so on. So it's actually quite easy to turn the other way. It really is, to turn back. Start by fearing God, and you don't have to believe everything that you may hear. You don't have to, you know, if there are good churches in the world that are preaching the gospel, teaching about healing, teaching about prosperity in the right context. I'm not about all the Lear jets and all the, you know, don't get me going on all that either. I'm not per se a prosperity gospel kind of guy. But God does want us to prosper. But He doesn't want us to be selfish and egotistical in our prosperity. He really doesn't. I'm a working stiff. Worked with a tool belt and a hammer most of my life. So, not always prospered, you know, in large ways when it comes to work. I've always done quality work, and people are amazed and marveled at the quality of my workmanship. It's because it's the only thing I know. Not only was I not trained any other way, but it's in my DNA. It's when you become a Christian, you want to do things right. There's something in you pulling at you, saying, "Oh, I can't go to the bar tonight. The strip clubs, those are done. The internet stuff, I got to stay off the internet. All that, stay away from it. Just stay away from it. Why? Because it'll destroy you. That's why." So another one is, we read Job, okay, where Job just talks about, he says for him, he's going to fear God, and he's going to turn from evil. That's it. Simple. You don't have to go to college to learn that. You don't need a master's and a couple PhDs to learn. Fear God and turn from evil. That's it. And your life will be prosperous. Prosperous. Oh, I cracked myself up. Will be prosperous. Your life will be prosperous. Not just with money, but with health, with relationships, with integrity, with value. Psalm 69:13. It talks about um, turn our eyes toward toward God and our prayers toward God. Let's read it here. 69:13. But as for me, my prayer is for you, Lord. This is David talking. My prayer is to you, O Lord, at an acceptable time, O God, in the abundance of your steadfast love, answer me. So what David's talking about here is what Job was talking about. Simple. Simple. Guys, you don't need to go to college to learn this. You're not going to learn it in college unless you go to a really, really conservative Christian school. And even and some Christian schools out there have too much of a not a worldview, a worldly view, a vain worldly view. Worldly views are destroying America, destroying this planet. Okay, but a godly worldview is what we need. So you don't have to go to college for 12 years, 15, get the diploma and the piece of paper on the wall that says I've arrived. No. All you got to do is fear God and turn from evil. That's it. And David talks about how God is the one that truly helps. He's the one that helps. Okay? So, in closing, we have choices. We have choices. I have choices today. I have choices of who I'm going to follow, what I'm going to follow, what I'm going to go after, what I'm going to strive for, and some of those things that I'm going to strive for are integrity and building value, not only in my life but sharing value and worth to other people around me. I have never, ever, I don't think one time, ever, I think not one time, ever, tried to impress anybody about anything. Except for when I was playing baseball, trying out for the major leagues. I really wanted to play. Had a mini camp, 3-day mini camp with the Reds way back in the day, and I was trying to impress them. But I try to impress people, maybe with my work, but not in a conceited kind of way. Just in I want to give you quality for what you're paying me for, and that's what I'm doing. So you don't need to impress people at work, at the office, at the gym, at church. Oh my gosh, at church. This is another subject, another topic for another date, where people try to impress. Hello. People try to impress others at church. We don't need to do that. That's and a quick note on church/religion, people. I am 1,000% against religion. Okay, not God, and not quote unquote the church. I love church. Church is a highlight of my week because we're encouraged. We are taught the truth. That's all we need, okay? But I'm light years against religion because religion destroys, okay? So in closing, Howie Steck here, Kingdom Man Legacy Ministries. If you care to subscribe, that'd be great. If you care to donate, you can go to your Cash app on your phone and go to SteckFam, SteckFam, and donate. $5, $2, whatever. And trying to move forward here. I hope these videos help. They actually help me because I have to do a little bit of studying, before I, can present this on YouTube. And I hope these help, and I hope they're an encouragement. And if you have questions, about God and your purpose, our purpose, start by fearing Him. Don't be afraid of Him, but fear Him in a reverent kind of way. And then just turn to Him and say, Lord, what would you have me to do today? This whole God thing is new. Whether I went to church, you went to church or not. If you didn't go to church, you don't have a church experience. If you did go to church, Unfortunately, a lot of you probably have bad experiences. I apologize for that. I apologize ahead of time for all the stupid churches in America. Okay, I really do. And so, my goal is to just get God's message out, to do it in a practical way, and to get out there and speak to men. Speak to men at men's breakfasts, men's conferences, and you can do that by going to my email account. Just go hsbd at comcast.net. hsbd, D is in David, B is in boy. hsbd at comcast.net. Churches can get a hold of me. You got a men's breakfast, you got an event coming up, and you'd like somebody to speak at your event. I'd love to be there, and I'm not a pastor, but I love encouraging men on their journey in this thing called life. So be blessed. Pray that these videos are a blessing, and start today. Do the right thing. Stay away from the crap. Stay away from the junk. Come home to your wife tonight. Play with the kids on the floor. Read a book. Color with them, and be the dad that you were created to be. Be the husband. Be the man. If you're not married, you don't have kids, just be the man you were created to be. And it just starts by saying, yes, I want to do that. I want that in my life. Be blessed.